Welcome to FCC Supporters Square. For fans, by fans, and about fans. Here are your hosts, Mark Shipman and Matt Warman. Hey, I know you. You're the guy that watches this podcast. Hi, I'm Matt Warman, and this is
Mark Sutphin, how are you doing, sir?
I am doing fantastic, and we are Wild Stallions. No, wait, we are FC Cincinnati Supporters Square. That's correct. We're the most metal of all FC Cincinnati fan podcasts
Definitely,
by
definitely.
far, most metal.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
How are you doing? We missed the week because life.
Yeah.
Um, Before we get started in how you were doing, we had a guest. Um, like I say, there's no wrong way to fan. There's no wrong way to guess. Guests have lives and guests have things and they have wives and other accoutrement that makes them not do things that they were going to do. It's all cool. You know who you are. We know who you are. You just owe us beverages. That's all we care about. We know, you know, we all know. It's life. Don't sweat it, dude, or dudette. I'm not gonna reveal anything.
Fair enough.
Guy, man, dude, buddy, friend, whatever. Enough of that. Enough of that. So we are guestless, but not by design. But I've missed you a couple of weeks. The last one was with DJ.
Yep.
Fantastic. It was I like getting smart guests. Makes us
Yeah.
look smart because we're just a couple of goofballs having a good time here.
Yeah. Anything to lift our podcast, let's do it.
That was the most actual soccer I've actually talked on this
Yeah.
podcast, which is fine. But I don't like to do it very often. So speaking of too much soccer to talk about, let's talk about some soccer. How about that? That's a soccer podcast. We should probably do something like that. Um, just so you know, Mark and I are not just broadcast or podcast partners. We're also Burger Week aficionados, and as well as our wives. And so we went to Burger Week last night, and Burger Week was fantastic. I'm not going to give the area that we went to, but it was good. We were going to watch a game, but it got kind of hot and crowded, so we came back to my homestead and we watched last night. So I know, did you see the game last night? The answer better be yes, unless you fell asleep, but I didn't see it.
Well, I don't think you saw me falling asleep by any stretch. Certainly, the first half may have given some credence to possibly putting one eye to sleep, but second half proved to be pretty exciting. And when things opened up, this team responded and just showed their unwillingness to quit. Uh, it's been a tough stretch of 5 matches, and we finally got that elusive win. That seemingly things were so easy. First half of the season, but we've gotten into this stretch where we're just missing 2 or 3 key players, and things are just a little tumultuous. But great come from behind win last night, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you for inviting my wife and I over to the Warman Palatial Estate and enjoying some soccer action.
And some nice bourbon as well.
Amen
Victory bourbon. Victory bourbon.
That.
We had some victory bourbon. That was very nice.
Victory bourbon was necessary.
So yeah, I mean, I thought, well, things that I know and don't care about is the Gold Cup result, but I do kind of care about it in the sense that when it got down to PKs and then Matt Miazga took a PK, I was like, at this point, I don't care if they win or lose. Our guys played well. Vasquez scored a goal. Miazga did his job, unlike other people that were taking PKs, so they couldn't blame it on us. Ultimately, our country did not come out on top, but we all know that's not the team that would be playing in the World Cup anyway. So it's not like our best didn't do well. It was a great experience for those guys. I'm happy to have them, even for 10 minutes on Saturday night's game. So congratulations to our guys and all of the U.S. men's team for representing their country. But I'm happy to have our guys back because we have an important game on Saturday. In spite of the other things that are doing, I really want to be back at skating at full strength. We've got 12 games left. My reaction, and Mark will verify, was when Obi scored was, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah.
I thought they were playing hard for the point. I thought they were going to try, but I didn't think they had it in them. But that's how good this team is that when we draw, we go, we should have won that game. We should have won that. I don't think we should have won that game. That game we did not play well. But that's what this team is so wonderful, I think, is that we're playing a bunch of kids. They're playing a bunch of meaningful minutes. Now, the kids didn't put us 1-0. I don't even think Hagley put us down 1-0. But playing those kids, those are valuable minutes that we get to chew up and put in the guys in the second half. If it was 0-0, they probably wouldn't have come in until the 60th minute, because I think that was the plan, was rest our guys until we absolutely need to bring those guys in because we've got a Saturday game that's important.
For sure.
So thank you, young guys, and they need to learn and they need to grow, and we're going to need them, particularly next year. But we're going to need them again this year, because I was looking at the schedule after Leagues Cup. It's like, oh, they don't play for a month. Well, no, they do play for a while. So if we are fortunate, we will have it in the same little area. We're going to have Leagues Cup, U.S. Open Cup, and 2 MLS matches. I don't know where we're going to stop them all. And I don't know how we can't play these guys every 2 days. That's just going to be nuts. But it's a good problem to have. I'd rather have this problem to go than, hey, it's mid-July, so who's our first pick in the draft? So thoughts on your game besides don't quit?
Like you said, the youth really came in. Kimi, Pinto, specifically, Angulo. You saw them make mistakes, but you didn't see them quit. You saw them keep trying. And, Pinto, unfortunately, got another yellow. But, you got to give it up that, they pulled their weight. And it's the Ray Gaddises that continue to just be stellar on the field and just, lead this team. You kind of saw Lucho sort of getting back to some of his, trying to dribble into 3 people, and 2021 all over again. And it was kind of tough for a while, but what you saw in the second half was the ball just kept going back and forth. We get a try, they get a try, but really in the last 3 or 4 minutes of stoppage time, we literally kept the ball in our offensive third, and ultimately we got the right bounce, the right kick, the right goal, and it all just made, it all put that hard work, it paid dividends. So glad for the team to get this victory, hard fought victory, late victory. I'm hoping to get Vasquez and Miazga back. If it's Saturday, great, but I'm not holding my breath. Kind of got to give a little. I didn't like some of the pundits that the aftermath of that U.S. Match. They were kind of down on Vasquez not scoring, and trying to put him in the pecking order of forwards, where he might be 5th or even less when it comes to World Cup. So I'm not too fazed by it. You knew it was going to happen, but certainly want those 2 back, and certainly wanting to see make this last 12 match ride as strong as we can get it.
We have an opportunity to take the points record.
Yeah,
I mean, who if you look at our episode 1, I
Yeah.
thought we would be decent in the playoffs, but I don't think anybody picked supporter shield winners, possible 80 points.
Historic,
Just yeah, historic.
I mean, who would have thunk
Nobody
that?
picked historic. I'm like, I think we're going to turn some of the ties into wins. So it's nice being mid-season, almost all-star game, to kind of look back at your own predictions and see that. For
Yeah.
this upcoming game, the Nashville game, while we were playing, Nashville was playing Philadelphia, apparently big time wrestling, because I did see so one of their, I think it was the wingback, it's either a center back or a wingback, got 2 yellows, so he won't
Yep.
play on Saturday. And
Yep.
then it looked like Philadelphia with a man up was trying to score, and the other wingback grabbed the Philadelphia player, threw him to the ground. The Philadelphia player jumped up, threw him to the ground, red. And as an FC Cincinnati fan, you got to be happy that Nashville is missing 2 players, plus Philadelphia is missing a player, because they're the next 2 closest to us at 8 and 9 points. While it sounds great, with 12 games to go, that's not that. That's unless we had a 30-point lead, I wouldn't worry about it. Right? I am worried about it. I'm worried about that all the time. And because of the U.S. men's loss, they also have a third player not showing up because he plays for Panama. So it was all very strategic by Vasquez and Miazga. I think they knew that we were playing Nashville on Saturday, so they purposely lost in PKs. No, that's a bad take. That's my bad take.
Really bad take.
not as bad as we're going to lose first place for a while, but
Right.
that's right up there. Do you have any bad takes before we get into Nashville?
Well, certainly I'm hoping we get Boupendza in. That's my want right now. I think the top has been missing, that threat, and Baji is a little banged up right now. Santos, who's going to give you 20, 30 minutes. He looked good, but he seemed to be out on an island. So it's kind of a big hole. A few crosses that came in last night. Nobody was there. We're just missing that. So Boupendza, my take is, he needs to be there as soon as possible.
Here's my take is I can't remember, it was in the second half. Lucho does a Lucho thing and makes this beautiful through ball to I can't remember who that was. I don't know who was. I don't think it was one of the strikers. I don't think it was Ordonez. I think it was somebody else. He's one-on-one with the keeper. He gets caught from behind and doesn't even get a shot off.
Timmy Ordonez.
Yeah.
Timmy.
Look, right. Yeah. Rookie, young guy. If that's Vasquez, if he misses it, he misses it. But he takes a shot at least. And if it's Boupendza, he's dribbling around everybody because you're not going to catch him, and he's going to put the ball in the back of the net. Right. This is what we're missing. This is what I said on the last episode, is that what teams are doing, because they don't fear Badgie. They don't really fear Santos because he can come up lame after 10 minutes at any time. Is that they're playing high and tight, and they don't fear anybody even if they get behind them, that they can catch them. You put a Boupendza and a Vasquez, you're not going to double team both of them and let Lucho dribble down the middle. That's a triple threat that few teams have. It's going to be, once he gets acclimated, it's going to be good. I don't want to see him for 10 minutes. I don't care if he hits into the 30th row of the Bailey, or he swings his elbows inadvertently and gets a yellow card. I just want to see him. I want to see him just for 10 minutes, not waving to the crowd, but 10 minutes on the pitch as a late sub. I would love that. I would absolutely love that, because it's going to take some matches, and it's good that we've got some League Cup stuff so we can work some things out. Right, we don't have to play 2 matches a week. We will with Leagues Cup, but it's a different animal. Is what I'm trying to say, and I think that gives us more time he's coming right at the same time that Vasquez and Miazga is there.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have some stability on the defense. I mean, so our defense is scoring first. I mean, our defense is good. It's not an iron curtain. Our goal differential is fantastic. It's not what we're used to.
Yeah.
Being plus 12 is not a territory that we typically are in.
Right. Right.
But with Miazga as a captain, he is the quarterback of the defense.
Yes.
He tells the other team what to do, but he also tells our team what to do as well. Right?
Yeah.
He'll yell at anybody and everybody to push up or mark their man or whatever it is that he needs to do. Mosquera is a great player, fantastic player. He is just not yet that leader because he's still working on his game and he knows he's going to be in bigger and better positions. But he's learning from Miazga, but he's not there yet as a leader.
Correct. Yeah, defense just continues to be basically a patchwork, and then unfortunately like a Haglund, he's been exposed a bit. You can't blame him. He's out there giving it his all, but certainly the unlucky of the PK and the couple of goals that he was around in the last couple of weeks. It's kind of tough, but this defense has done well despite having their captain out. So I give Mosquera credit. He's still learning. He's getting more experience. He's growing. And then what I heard from Pat Noonan when we went over to the Bailey meet and greet with Pat and Chris, he just said how much that Mosquera has matured when he came here. Just his personality and mannerisms and things that needed to be tweaked to get him on the same page. I've got to say Mosquera has done the work, and he's getting that maturity in, and that's what's going to help him become that leader that Miazga is basically taking him under his wing right now. Hopefully when he comes back, we got this 12 game stretch, and this will be a lockdown defense by the time we get to playoffs.
I think Saturday's match is huge, absolutely huge.
Yes,
we have a as much as the Nashville fans talk about Hani Mokhtar, and he is. I'm not saying he is not good. He is very good. He is very, very good. But if you don't get him the ball enough, or have the midfield or the options like FC Cincinnati does, he's leading your team. He's carrying the load. If you could just you play off of him and say, have somebody else beat us, you're not going to stop him. But if you slow him down and say, who else on your team's going to score?
Yeah.
It's not going to. But now they're missing a bunch of defense. So they've been going through a funk because if you talk to Nashville fans, I don't know why they feel like the middle child between us and Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, talk to us. Have banter with us. Be our rival. It's like, no, you're just another team. Why don't you go play with Atlanta? Go play with Charlotte. The big teams are playing. It's not rivalry week for me. That's a different thing. That's a me thing, I guess. But they talk way too much for where they are and what they're doing. They were on a bit of a streak, but now they're on a bit of another streak of losing games, particularly games at home. And I think that's really tough. That's tough when you lose games at home. I mean, it's hard enough to play. I mean, we managed to eke out a hard-fought 1-0 at their place early in the season, but we're gelling. And we've proven that you don't want to play at our place. No, I'll take St. Louis. I'll take any team on either division. If you want a one-game playoff for all the marbles and you're playing it at Tico Stadium, it sucks to be second place, doesn't it? Because you're not going to beat us.
Correct. Yeah,
because of people like you. Thank you for your service.
Yes. You touched on the match down in Nashville, 1-0 victory for FCC. Mukhtar was handled mostly. Midfield and defense just did a masterful job on him. And to keep Mukhtar out of the net, that was a wonderful performance. I was glad to be there to see that match with about 200 other FCC fans. And you might remember after that match, they won everything for like 10 straight. They just went on a tear. They could not be beaten, but it's been a little bit of tough sledding in the last 2-3 weeks for them. And you can't explain it. It's just, peaks and valleys of teams. FCC's going through their own little peak and valley. So,
and that's it. We were playing kids, and we didn't play well for a whole half. Brought in some people in the second half, down a goal, end up scoring 2. I mean, it was like Chicago earlier this year. The same kind of thing. We brought Lucho in, and he helped for 2 in like 20-25 minutes of sub time. I mean, thank you. Before we continue, for the audio listeners, you can't see that Mark is wearing a yellow shirt, and we are playing a yellow team, and we don't like yellow teams, any yellow team. There you go. So for the video people, you saw that. For the audio people, he did stand up. He is wearing a classic yellow, Mitch says no, yellow USL goalkeeper jersey. So don't panic, video people. Yes. He is actually wearing his Mitch says no goalkeeper outfit, goalkeeper extraordinaire.
Yeah, this is the electric green, not yellow. I am not going to any side that has anything to do with yellow by any stretch. It's interesting. I looked on somebody on Facebook Marketplace has this actual kit, size medium, $350. So, if you've got these old kits, hold on to them. They're worth something right now.
Particularly if we get a star on, we're going to get a star hopefully this year. That's the goal.
Yeah, that's a beautiful goal to have.
Do we get hardware for Supporter Shield, but we don't get anything special on our kits for being a Supporter Shield?
No, right? It's just that accolade, the shield itself, and that's really about it. We can just say, "Yay, Supporter Shield!"
Right, we have more winning to do.
Yes, but hey, this is a year that many accolades could come our way. We've stacked them up most of this season. How many things we are in the running for still? So let's just hope and pray that things come to fruition, and we bring home some of that hardware.
We are in line for the MLS treble. We're still technically in line for the MLS quad. That would be strange, but if we win the Supporter Shield, the MLS playoffs, the US Open Cup, and the Leagues Cup, hokey smokes. I mean, who picked that? Nobody picked that.
Yeah, I mean,
anybody who did, boy, you're good. You're a very rich man, or you're a time traveler, because I didn't expect any of this.
No doubt.
And it's so enjoyable. And the other sports team in town are enjoyable as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Nashville's missing some key players that it's now a must-win game. I think we're now 10 points ahead of them. Is that right?
Yes.
10 points ahead of them, 9 points ahead of New England.
It's 8. Eight.
That's right. 8 for them. Then like 11 for Columbus, and then who's a point behind them? They're kind of coming up.
I forgot. I didn't get home to almost midnight. So last night after watching the men's team,
we immediately switched to the extra time, and we couldn't leave until that one was completed. Right. Or you couldn't. I didn't leave my house. I stayed, but point being, yes. And my favorite, I love the FCC goal chant. We scored that extra time, and we did the goal chant at home. I don't know if you guys didn't see it. That's okay.
Yeah.
He was Bailey Mark.
Yes, I was.
The last 20 minutes. He was standing up. He
Yep.
was he did not have his scarf, but he was making his whoop-de-whoop scarf movement without his scarf. He was just doing this, hand in
Yep.
a circle like he was swinging a scarf,
Yeah.
knowing that that was going to will, and it worked. Right, it
Yep.
worked. Don't stop what doesn't work.
You can take a man out of the Bailey, but you can't take the Bailey out of the man. So
There you go. So yeah, so I'm really excited about this. I think it's a good time if we can win this game. It's going to probably rain, so we might have a
yeah.
delay. It's looking iffy between 3 and 8. So gear up for that. But we have a donut, we have a shield, we have the deflector. I'm not sure what it is,
Yep.
but around 275, it seems to split north or south. So
Yes.
hopefully whatever happens either happens after the game or before the game, and we can get this in on time, because
Oh yeah.
I think winning 3 points here, making every time we do this is the part of the season, not the last 5 games. Although the last 5 games, every game is important. The first 5 games, the first game, last game, they're all important. We know this, right? But this stretch where you have a bit of a lead, right? You can either, in horse racing terms, spit the bit or hold serve. If we beat Nashville, and it's obviously we got to play the game, we got to play well and smart and all that. But if we win this game, not only do we put an extra 3 points between us and our third place rival, that means New England, just to keep pace, has to win. They have to win all of their games.
Yes.
Right. And at some point, the lead gets to the point to where the must-win game is the 6th game left, and not the last game of the season, where if we tie and they lose, or they tie and we tie, who wins and what's? I don't want any of that. I want to just And I look in the Western Division, and the ninth place team in the Eastern Division has 29 points. That's Chicago. The 6th place team in the Western Division has 29 points. That's Austin.
Yeah.
And I think they may have one extra game too. So I'm not sure about that one, but I'm not worried about the West. I'm not worried about any of those teams. They're going to have to come. We win the Supporter Shield. It's all coming here, and that means the Bailey on steroids. That means the Bailey starts stretching out to all over the stadium. And I'm so proud of all the fans that show up. You supporters, you fans. Even the casuals, they stand up at the right time. They're beginning to do some kinds of chants, or at least the FCC. One guy in my row last home game tried to do the wave, so we're not all on board yet. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that one out. But it's getting loud, and I love booing somebody.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is. Boo somebody. Pick one person and boo, because it was Boateng, and then we moved over to the other guy. I was like, okay, he was bad. That guy's worse. Let's boo him. And I think it has an effect.
It does. It's the whole climate of TQL. The Bailey is not the only thing going. It's the whole stadium. The stadium is very intimate, so what the Bailey does can stretch all through the stadium. It's not a big stadium, so everything is contained. So it's hopeful that things catch on, and we start hearing, and we do see that. We see that with corner kicks. We see it. The simpler chants, the place is starting to erupt, and that's what I love about TQL Stadium, is that how easy it is to send what we do in the Bailey, down the sides and into the other, onto the other side.
My theory is that the casuals are becoming hardcore.
There are
so many people. How many people we've had on this show and other shows where they're like, "Oh my gosh, I went to a game. It's not my chosen sport, but that was so much fun. I have to go again, and I have to go again." Hey, I could be a fan of 2 sports. I can do that. I can be a fan of 3 sports. I can be a fan of everybody's. But they're like, oh my God, this is so much fun. Now it's like, where are we going to chant? What is that? right? Now
Yeah.
people are getting more, we're not just the FC anymore.
Right.
And
Right.
people
And
are
how many,
beginning to do that. Come back, Mark.
how
Mark
many
has,
ticket?
there you go. You froze up for a second.
I thought you for,
Oh, we
but
both are freezing up. We're freezing up. We're
interesting.
playing freeze tag.
Oh my God.
So to see things that I thought there was things I know that I don't care. I don't think there's any other things that there's another Vasquez Gladbach nonsense. I could care less. I think it's clickbait. They tried it once and it got some people riled up, but they tried it
Yeah.
again. I don't think anybody cares at this point.
Well, I just don't think it's happening now. I think we're looking at end of season at least. So I'm just hoping, something can be done about trying to keep Brandon here. Although he said he'd love to, go to Europe. That's his dream, and you can't keep a guy that has the ability to play over there in those big leagues. The opportunity to do it. So we'll just have to see what transpires, see what his year, how he continues to play. Certainly, he's not racking up the goals like he used to, last year, but he's playing pretty good. And I'd say the exposure with the men's national team has given him just that extra bump. So we'll just have to see.
I think the national team experience. He scored a couple of goals. He scored that big goal against Canada.
Yeah.
That's just where he was last year. I think it gave him some swagger. It took some pressure off of him because FC Cincinnati fans were like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? And to the point to where, will I get into the men's team? He made the men's team.
Yep.
He scored some goals. He's got his confidence back. I think he's going to play well. Look, a lot of uncertainty with this team because it is the league that we're in. We're not the top team. We're not playing Chelsea and Man U.
Yeah.
We're playing Nashville and Orlando City.
Right.
But with that being said, with the uncertainty, we have a general manager in Albright who has pulled all the strings right. And if Boupendza is the winner that he is, and we have to replace Vasquez, I guarantee you they have a plan in place. They may not get the guy, but I guarantee you they have a list of targets, likely a young striker, a la Brenner, because they'll have a slot, or they'll figure out a slot to put him in, and they'll replace Vasquez with somebody else, right? We didn't know who Brandon Vasquez was. It wasn't really Albright, but we didn't know who Obi was. We didn't know who some of these players were. Why did we pick a goalkeeper with the first pick, right? All of these things that we were kind of questioning. Well, that's why we're not general managers. So I think it is, it's hard to lose. It's hard to lose to people because we're not used to being the top league in the world, on like other sports. But I think we're going to be good. But we can deal with that after we celebrate our MLS Cup victory.
Right.
So, any final thoughts?
Well, behind me here is the Mon Capitan, Lucho Acosta. Thanks immediately to everyone in FCC Nation that voted with your laptop, desktop, or your mobile device, and you voted every day. You got this done. Everybody that clicked for Lucho to get captain, you got this done. I was very proud to see that happen. Well deserved for Lucho. He's progressed his game, from the time he started here in 21 to now. He's really raised his game immensely. So I'm just so happy for him, for his family, and for FCC Nation, to be well represented with his captainship.
You're welcome. On behalf of some of, I did some clicks. I honestly, I was not a homer. Wasn't a homer call. So oftentimes, goal of the week is a homer call. This is not a homer call. Nope. He went from a flashy dude who was a little bit out of control to the captain of a team who is setting the historic points He is assisting, he is scoring, he's playing defense. I've been saying this online. You know, everybody says, well, what about this guy with 20 goals or that guy? Yeah, his job is to score goals. Lucha's job is to score goals and to control the midfield and to play some defense. He has saved goals. He has started goals with his defense, both on the offense and defensive side of the pitch. He makes the greatest passes we see in MLS this season. I mean, perfectly weighted balls. He brings down perfectly weighted balls. He is the hands-on person who should be representing us as MLS against the Premier League. And I for one, am excited for that, and you guys should be too. Well, I think that's all the time that we have. Next week, we will have a guest. We will have a guest.
Okay.
We'll be in trouble. Guest. We will have a guest, and we'll have more fan perspectives and more things to talk about. And we're excited to have you listening. By the way, this is our 20th episode. I never thought we would make it past 2, but here we are, alive and kicking, thanks to you guys, and just us two goofballs just having a good time and talking silliness. That's what we do. Come back next week for more silliness and soccer talk at SCC Supporter Square. For Mark Suppin, I'm Matt Warman. Have a great week.